What's happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL Vision. Today I have an exciting video planned for you guys. I recently put out a community post to all of my subscribers and channel members asking for input on a video that they may want to see. And I'm going to call this my subscribers input series. This will be the very first video in that series, and I found it fitting to go ahead and start this series off with a recommended video from Cueball and Budget Guy, my most sentimental knives that I have or currently own. And I was thinking about it today, what video should I start with? And then I decided on the Sentimental Knives video, and then I started thinking about this is actually going to be very hard to do. And it occurred to me on my way home from work that it actually won't be that hard for me to do this video. And before we get started, I have to ask if anyone is interested in me doing any type of video, leave it down in the comments and I will be sure to, I have a list going. I am going to do the video that you are asking, and I am going to give the person or people who are asking for that video a shout out on each of those videos, as I did today. So if you want to see anything, let me know and I will write it down and I will do it in time. There's no set schedule for these videos. I'm just going to incorporate them every week, maybe a couple a week. We'll just see how it goes. We'll go ahead and get started with the very first knife that came to mind. So this is one of the very first knives that I ever got, and it was a gift from my fiance, the very first gift that I ever got from her. Now, she didn't go out and just buy this knife. It was something that we kind of came together on, and she wanted to buy me one, and I asked her what she thought about this one. I really liked it. I liked ProTech. I liked the looks of it, everything about it. This was my first auto that I ever had. My first auto, my first gift. And this is a very sentimental knife to me. This is a knife that will never leave my collection. My very first gifted knife, my very first auto. It's a ProTech, USA made, and for its intended purpose, this thing will do exactly what it was designed to do. You have that old school stiletto style blade, and it is very, very pokey. You have 154 cm. ProTech does a phenomenal job on their 154. It is coated. You have ProTech's black aluminum, which is also always very well finished. You have some gray contrast on the hardware and the button there. And then you have ProTech's standard pocket clip for these knives and the Godfathers. Definitely a very sentimental knife to me, the ProTech Godson. Next up is a double whammy. So EMP EDC, as a lot of you guys know, is my all-time favorite knife company. John is my favorite knife designer, and the reason these two in particular are part of my most sentimental knives is because this was the very first EMP knife that I ever got, and it was a gift from my dad. This was also a recent gift from my dad. These both have a huge sentimental value to me. All my EMPs do. Some have higher sentimental value than others. These two in particular have a huge sentimental value to me. The OG Nimble, this is version 2, and then the OG Nimble Segaha version. There was only 100 of those made from Urban EDC Supply. I actually got number 9, I believe it was. Or no, number 6, I'm sorry. Number 6. And I just absolutely love both of those knives. They both come in M390. They both have titanium handles with titanium hardware, with the exception of the Segaha version now has a full Zircuti kit, which looks amazing on the Segaha version. This has a satin blade, DLC coated blade on this guy. The hardware on this one is anodized titanium. It is all bluish green anodized. Some of the absolute best action, best slicing capability that you can get on a folding knife. These aren't just beautiful knives, they are workhorses in their own right, and they are ultra comfortable with that full finger choil. Great blade shape. The Nimble series of knives is my all-time favorite series of knives, and these will never go anywhere. Along with the rest of my EMPs, they will never go anywhere. So those are number 2 and 3. Next up is another gift from my fiance. This was a Christmas gift 2 years ago. I had wanted this knife for a long time. I wanted my first Pena. I wanted to experience that kickstop flipper mechanism. I just loved everything about this knife. I still do. It's one that I don't carry a whole lot just because it has such a sentimental value to it. It is such a ergonomic knife, as far as this is a perfect secondary carry to me. Has some of the absolute best flipper action that you can get on a flipper knife. The little blade just, it almost looks like it's an auto. Once you push that button, that blade is coming out a hellin'. This one has a machine satin M390 sheep's foot blade. You have Lee Williams kickstop mechanism. So it's the Pena Apache X series with the kickstop. You have green micarta inlays, titanium bolsters. It is a bolster lock. You have a 3D milled titanium clip along with a quarter titanium backspacer. Definitely high up on my most sentimental knives, the Pena Apache. So you might notice a theme here. This was a gift from my dad for my birthday this year. This is the Oser F22 Urban EDC Supply exclusive with the Lee Williams kickstop. One of my favorite pocket knives so far this year. It's just an outstanding knife. You have a nice slim profile, amazing ergonomics, great action coming from that Lee Williams kickstop. You have an M390 DLC coated drop point blade, beautiful black micarta scales, all blacked out hardware. The shield looks awesome. You can barely tell it's there just by feeling. The transition is amazing. I love the pocket clip, how it's side mounted there. You have a half titanium backspacer. The pocket clip is also titanium. Very well made, and I absolutely love this knife. Even though it is a recent gift, this has tremendous sentimental value to me, and this knife will never go anywhere along with the rest of them. This is an amazing pocket knife, and this was the last knife my dad has gifted me, and I'm excited to see what he might get for me in the future. But that is the Jared Oser F22 Urban EDC Supply exclusive, featuring that Lee Williams kickstop. An amazing, amazing pocket knife. Next up is a gift from a good buddy of mine, a channel member, a subscriber to my channel, a huge supporter of mine, a huge help. Someone who's basically been along for the ride since I started my channel, and over the last couple months has become a huge part of the channel. Carco, he gifted me this knife without ever even telling me that he was gifting me the knife. He sent in a box of knives for me to take a look at, and he included this as a gift, and I actually have fallen in love with this knife. It was a knife that I really didn't think that I would like before handling it. This is the Love Concepts Avant, the version 1, and I have really fallen in love with this knife. I carried it a ton when he first gifted it to me, and I've kind of slowed down on carrying it. I still do, mainly because I don't want anything to happen to this knife. Now, I did just carry it the other day on Monday. So for my Carta Monday, the ergonomics are amazing. The blade is a little dirty, but it's a machine satin M390 drop point blade. You have that nice flipper tab and that extra large hole for deployment. Very nice micarta from Riot. You have a deep carry wire pocket clip, quarter titanium backspacer, great build quality. This was the first gift that I ever received from a channel member or a subscriber, and huge shout out to Carco. I love the Love Concepts Avant. Definitely one of my most sentimental knives that I have in my collection. Love Concepts Avant. So we have a couple more here. This is the Brian Brown Jagerem. Now, this was not a gift, but this is a knife that I had wanted for a very long time, and it kind of always eluded me. I could never get one when the time was right, and because of Josh Worth and him being an awesome dude, he traded me this knife for a McNeese that I had recently purchased, an Urban EDC Supply exclusive version with the Segaha pattern. And this knife means a ton to me. This will never leave my collection, ever. As a matter of fact, I would get another one if I could. It came fully outfitted with Zircuti backspacer, pocket clip, and then I added the DLC coated titanium hardware. That is a zirconium pivot collar on this guy, and I just think it looks amazing. I will probably not do anything else to this knife. If I ever do anything else, it would be to get Zircuti pivot collars, but I think I'll leave it the way it is. You can tell that it's zirconium around that DLC coated titanium. I just think it's beautiful in its current form. If I get another one, then I might do something else, but this knife just shines. It doesn't get a lot of pocket time because I don't want anything to happen to it, but I do carry it on the weekends and I get it out a lot and mess with it. But this is definitely one of my most sentimental knives because it's one of my all-time favorite knives ever. Period. It's bar none one of my all-time favorite knives, and I have Josh Worth, our buddy down in Australia, to thank for the trade. Such an awesome dude. Shout out to Josh. Thank you, brother. Definitely one of my most sentimental knives. Next up, Brian Brown Raptor V2. This was a Christmas gift from my fiance this year for Christmas, and I always wanted this knife. I wanted the version 1, and I just really couldn't ever get it, whether it was financial or availability. Just couldn't ever get my hands on one. And then the version 2s came out, and I saw the DLT exclusive version with the carbon fiber inlay, and I knew I just had to have this guy. It is on skiffs, just a phenomenal thumb stud knife. It's so amazing looking, goes perfect with my Jagerem. I did throw a Zircuti pocket clip on it, and eventually I'll get pivot collars probably, and a backspacer as well. Definitely one of my most sentimental knives, and this will never go anywhere. Any knife that's ever been a gift to me from anyone, I will never get rid of. But this is definitely up there on my sentimental knives list. The Brian Brown Knives Raptor V2 M390 blade, machine satin, modified clip point, titanium handles. Just a great little pocket knife. I absolutely love this guy. And if you don't know, you will now. The Buck 110 Slim Pro in S30V with the Boss heat treat, micarta, and a pocket deep carry pocket clip, along with the Benchmade bug out in this form, S90V carbon fiber Benchmade's deep carry pocket clip. These two knives are some of my most sentimental knives ever. These will never leave my collection either. These are the two knives that started my journey into knives, into EDC. I had always been into knives, always been into gear, but not quite to the extent that I am now. And I have these two knives to thank. This was the very first knife that I ever picked up that started my collection habits. I have my name engraved there on the blade, laser engraved, and I just wanted a knife that I could have for the rest of my life, and I was going to be done. Boy, was I wrong about that. I was buying this knife so I didn't have to buy any more, and little did I know I was completely wrong. I bought this knife second, and this is the knife that kind of threw me down the rabbit hole of knives. Being able to flick a knife open like that, close it like this, and just continually do that. The S90V blade, the lightweight of the carbon fiber, everything about the bug out was something I was intrigued by. And after getting this and this, I wanted to try more handle materials, more blades, different blade shapes, different locks. I just wanted to try everything, and I pretty much have at this point. But I have these two knives to thank for getting me into the knife world, getting me into the EDC world, becoming a part of the knife community, starting my channel. It's because of these two knives that I am right here, right now, doing this video. That'll do it for this one, guys. If you hung out through the whole thing, thank you. I love you. If you are here and you are not subscribed, hit that subscribe button down below the video. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. If you have any other video ideas, leave them down in the comments. Love y'all, and I will catch you on the next one.